Okay, a lot of you are having trouble subtracting on a number line, and that seems to be because you have to move into this opposite world of doing the opposite of what you do in addition. So I'm just going to talk about a couple easy ways to remember, figure out what to do. So if you're subtracting on a number line, subtraction, I would say start off by solving a simpler problem. Make a very simple number line here, and let's solve a problem you already know the answer to, and it will lead you to coming up with a rule for yourself. So if I say, all right, let's subtract from positive 2, we'll subtract positive 1. This is a very simple question. You know the answer. You've been doing this since you were little. You start with the first term, put your pen there, and you're going to subtract positive 1. You know that you're going to end up at 1. So which direction did you go? You went to the left. So you can make from this a rule that will help you with a tougher problem. If I'm subtracting a positive, I'm going to go to the left. So now let's turn it into a more difficult problem, one that you don't necessarily know how to do already. I'll make a very simple number line here. And you're going to actually subtract using the same pattern. This harder problem, positive 2 minus positive 3. Okay. Why is this a little bit harder? Because, well, you don't know exactly what to do when you have a number that is larger. You're subtracting from a smaller number. So let's use the same pattern. If I subtract positive 1, I knew I had to get to 1 here. So I went to the left. I'm going to do the exact same thing here. I'm going to go from positive 2. Instead of going to the right, like I would for addition, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 to the left. And I end up at negative 1. Okay, same thing with addition. If you're having a hard time remembering which way to go on a number line, try solving a simpler problem. For example, positive 2 plus positive 1 is very simple. You know the answer is going to be positive 3. You don't need a number line for this, but let's see which way we go. We start off with 0, 1, 2, 3. You know that you're going to start off at 2. You're going to go to the right 1. So you know your answer is going to be positive 3. So use this if you're doing something that's a little less obvious and maybe it's giving you difficulty. And I'm just going to do my little number line. Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. Let's say you start off with a question like this. Negative 2 plus positive 1. Okay, in this case, I'm just like before, always going to start at the first number. Now what I learned from this up here was that a positive number is going to go to the right. If I'm adding a positive number, I'm going to go to the right. So I have to do that here as well. I'm adding a positive number. I'm going to go to the right. Doesn't matter that I started off at negative 2. And my answer is negative 1. Okay, let's say you're given a problem like this and it doesn't make any sense to you. Negative 2 minus negative 3. We'll solve a problem that does make sense. How about negative 2 minus negative 1? This one makes a bit more sense. You've got 2 negative tiles, take away 1 negative tile. You know the answer is going to be negative 1. Let's show that on a number line, and we can probably see a pattern that's going to be useful for us. And here we go. So here's our pattern, negative 2. We start at negative 2, and we have to take away negative 1. We know we're going to end up at negative 1, so that means going to the right. So what we learned from this is that if we subtract a negative, we go to the right on the number line, a number of spaces that's in the second term. So if we subtract a negative, we go to the right. So let's look at that on this example. Okay, back to our original example, we had negative 2 minus negative 3. From this easier to solve example, we learned that we start off at negative 2, and we learned that if we subtract negative 1, it means going to the right 1 space. So that means if we're subtracting negative 3, we're going to go to the right 3 spaces. And we end up with positive 1. Just another tool for you trying to figure out how to understand how to subtract on a number line. That's all for now.